Hey friend, my chess game had no opponents. It was just an empty board waiting for me to move both sides. So I gave it a brain and it beat me. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I added a fully working AI opponent to my Unreal Engine 5 chess game. No C++ required, and the whole thing took me less than 20 minutes. So here's what we're going to cover. I'm going to walk you through these 4 steps. Step 1, choosing the right AI for your game. Step 2, downloading it and adding it to your Unreal Engine 5 projects. Step 3, writing up the blueprint so your game board actually knows the AI is there. Step 4, testing it so you can play against the AI live. And if you're following along, there are just 2 things you need. First, chess game creator setup in your Unreal Engine 5 projects. If you have not done that yet, I have a full setup video. I'm going to link it in the card right now. And second, you need Unreal Engine 5.5 or later. So if you're on an older version, you want to update before following along. Cool? All right, let's get into it. So before downloading anything, this is actually the most important decision you're going to make for this project. Which AI do you use? And there are 2 main options that I go with here. The first is Stockfish. If you're making classical chess with you really want a strong AI opponent, this is the one. It's one of the strongest chess engines ever built. But, and here's the thing, if you're making a custom variant, like atomic chess or something made up yourself, Stockfish is not going to cut it for you. That's where Fairy Stockfish comes in. Fairy Stockfish is literally built for custom chess variants. It's plug and play for any non-standard chess variant. So real quick, classical chess Stockfish, custom variant Fairy Stockfish. Got it? Alright, perfect. Let's download it. So the download links for both of these are in the description. I'm going to be using Fairy Stockfish for this tutorial. Once you've downloaded it, you're going to get an executable file. And this is where a lot of people get confused, so pay attention here. So once you've downloaded the AI, you want to put it inside your content folder. Now the structure that you have for where you put it in the content folder does not really matter. What matters is that it's in the content folder. So for me, I have mine in the content folder here, inside a folder called AI process, and I have another folder called Windows AI. And you can see here I already have Stockfish. So I'm going to come here from my downloads and move Fairy Stockfish into this location in my projects here. So this is where Fairy Stockfish now lives in my projects. So like I said, it doesn't matter how you structure it inside the content folder. It just has to be in the content folder. And the reason it has to be in the content folder is because if you put it outside the content folder, for example, like you just put it here, it's going to work in editor, but the moment you package, your AI would not be able to be in your game, because everything that's actually in your game is the content here. So it's what's inside the content folder. That's the stuff that you can play in the packaged game. Once you put your AI inside your project folder in the content folder, you need to take note of this location. So you'll want to copy this because you're going to use this in the next step. Okay, so once you've added your AI in the project inside your content folder, you want to go to edit and then go to project settings. And in project settings, you're going to go to the packaging section here. And what you want to do here is you want to scroll all the way down and look for where it says additional non-assets directories to copy. And then you want to click this plus button here to add an element. And you're going to choose from the computer here. So I'm going to actually close this out here. I'm going to delete this one and I'm going to come here and add a additional non-asset directory to copy. You want to be careful because you don't want to do additional non-asset directories to package, because you do not want to package this executable. You want to copy it. So we'll click this plus icon here and click these three dots here. And then I'm going to select the AI process folder. So select that folder, and it's just going to copy this AI process folder from me. So once you're done with that, you can close out your project settings here. And then the next step is we want to make sure that our AI process is pointing to the right location. So I'm going to go to my content drawer here, and I'm going to open up my Valentine's map, because that's the map where I have this game mode that I'm adding the AI to. And then now that I have the map open, I'm going to select the board, and then I'm going to scroll all the way down to my components classes here. I'm going to look at my AI component class and look for where this is. Okay, so this is the AI based components location, and that's the one that I want to open. I want to make sure that the AI process path is set correctly. So remember when I told you to take notes of the location here, we're basically going to copy that and paste it here. So you see I already have mine pasted, but yours will probably be like something different. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. So we're going to go here and look at this. But remember, the only difference is this is a backslash. We actually want these to be forward slash. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here and change all the backslashes to forward slash. Change the backslash here to forward slash. And then we're going to add another forward slash here. And we're going to copy the name of our AI process. So this is Fairy Stockfish large board x86 64 BMI2, just as it is. And we're going to come back here and paste it. So now that's set here. Compile and make sure everything compiled fine. So those are the two things that we need to set up here for our AI. Hey, real quick, this is what it's going to look like when we're done. Okay, back to it. Now we need to open up our game board blueprints, or just go to the details panel with the game board selected in your level editor here. And we need to initialize the AI. So we want to scroll all the way down and make sure we find our AI components. I want to just make sure that this is set. It's not none, but it's being set to AI opponents based components. And then you want to go to your settings section here. We have a bunch of different sections. You want to make sure you're in the settings section, and you want to go, and if board rules is closed like this, you want to click this drop down to open board rules, and then go to your game type and make sure that it's set to versus AI. This just makes sure that it runs all the logic that has to do with getting the AI up and running. Once you do this, you are pretty much set for initializing your AI opponents. I'm just going to go and re-init the board. I like to re-init the board just to make sure. And yeah, everything looks good for me here. So now we need to open our game mode blueprints and set up the initialization for the AI. This is where Chess Game Creator makes things really straightforward, and I'll show you exactly what I did. So for the AI, I added this arrow component here, and this arrow component, I'm going to show you exactly where it lives actually. So a good way to do this is you can right click on the components and just go to browse to assets. And once you click browse to assets, it's going to take you to the location of the blueprints. So this is where it's located in the chess game creator plugin. So let's look at this asset here. So this has a transform name. Right now it's set to PC, and it also has a tag. So if you scroll all the way down here and you go to the actor section and click down on the advanced section here, you see that there's a section for tags. If you also click this drop down, you're going to see that the tag has been set. So here the tag is set to 1, and this basically represents player index 1. So that'll be the second player to play, and player index 0 would be the first player to play. So in this case, we're playing as black, so the AI is going to play as white. So that's the first thing. And let's look at where this arrow component here is being used, because this is where the player is going to spawn. So let's go to our world settings. So if, like me, you don't have the world settings tab here right next to your details panel, you can go to this window section here, and you want to scroll down till you see world settings, and then open up world settings. It should open right next to the details tab. So our game mode is the important thing here. So I created this game mode called Atomic Chess Game Mode, and it's a child of the BP Chess Game Mode. And what it does here is that when a new player joins the game, it's going to go and get the number of player controllers, and it also is getting the save file in case you want to use it, but you don't have to use it. Like in this case, I'm not using it. And then it's going to get the game board from the map. So it's going to get all actors of class of classical chess game board here, and then it's going to set this as a temp game board here that we're going to use in the rest of the logic. So once we get this, we can switch by the game type, and if the game type is AI, we're going to add the AI to the board, because I'm just adding my AI here. So this is basically how I'm setting the AI difficulty, the control, who's controlled, and also the variant. So because this variant I'm making is atomic chess, I can actually set the variant's name here. This is exactly why we use Fairy Stockfish, because Fairy Stockfish has a list of variants that we can actually just select that are already preset. So in this case, I'm using one of the chess variants, and I'm using atomic chess. So that one is down here. So all I had to do here is, you know, if you click, you can see like the rules of the variants and all that. So all I had to do for that was just make sure that I set my variant name to atomic, and that did it for me. All right, cool. So now we set the AI. The next thing that's happening is the player is actually spawning at a specific location. So based on the player army index, we're going to go and get actors with that tag, and we're basically getting gameplay actors with this tag of 1, which is basically the same tag that we had set here for our arrow components here. It's a tag 1. So once we get the actor of that tag, we're going to cast it to that transform arrow, and if it's successful, it's going to go and do this check. If the transform name is PC, which the transform name is PC here, then we're going to go ahead and spawn the actor based on the default pawn class, which is just val chess player pawn. And this is a player pawn I made. If you want me to go deeper into this player pawn structure and what that looks like, let me know and I'll make a video about it. So yeah, that's how the actor is being spawned, and we make sure that the player controller possesses this actor. Oh, so a quick note about the AI difficulty is that I also have the AI difficulty going up anytime you beat the AI opponent. So if you right click here on your chessboard in your outliner here and you browse to assets, it's going to take you to your chessboard. So this is my atomic chessboard here. And in this set game over function, I'm actually checking to see, hey, was the current player AI? And this just tells me that the last player to move before the game ended was me. So that means I won. And now it's the AI's turn, but the game is over. And if that's the case, then it just tells me that I won, and it's going to increase the difficulty here and then sets the AI difficulty based on that win that I just won. If I don't win or I lose, I get to play the same difficulty. So I get another chance to beat the AI at the same difficulty. So this way it just gets harder and harder. So it's more challenging until I can't beat the AI anymore. Real quick before we test this thing, if you haven't gotten Chess Game Creator yet, go ahead and grab it now. The link is in the description and it's completely free. And if you have any questions as you're following along, feel free to drop them in the comments or in our Discord, and I promise I'm going to answer your questions. I want to see you succeed. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so let me set up a game here. I'm going to play as black and AI will play as white. And I want to see how it handles a real game situation of atomic chess. So I'm going to go ahead and play. All right. So it made a move. I'm going to push. So this is the very easiest difficulty here. So I'm going to push forward here and see how it responds. So let me capture. So this is the dumbest difficulty, by the way. But you can see it's responding to my moves. I literally just attacked the bishop and it ran away. So it's like, oh, my bishop is in danger. I'm going to move away. I'm going to come here to try to get the king. And it literally just responded to that. I moved the pawn forward. Because if I had captured that pawn there, the king would have exploded and it would have been game over. I'm going to play this move here and look at the king and see what it does. So it moved the king away. But, I mean, this is the easiest difficulty. So, you know, it definitely let me win. But let's see with the second simplest difficulty here. So I'm going to make a move and straight away, it's literally attacking my queen. I'm going to make a random move and see what it does. Goes for blood, just destroys me. And that's it. This AI literally just annihilated me. So, GG. So let me do a quick recap. Step 1, pick your AI. Stockfish for classical, Fairy Stockfish for custom variants. Step 2, download it and drop the executable in the content folder of your project. And don't forget the packaging settings. Step 3, initialize the AI in Blueprint and set your game type to versus AI. Step 4, set the side and difficulty you want the AI to play. Hit play and your chess game now has an AI opponent. Alright my friend, that's it for this video. If you want to take your chess game further, you can check out the game board tutorial or the chaos destruction tutorial. I'm going to drop the links here for you. And if you enjoyed this format, please feel free to drop a like to show that you support the format and you want to see more videos like this. And don't forget, if you want access to all this code and past and future projects that I've done for Chess Game Creator, you can get all that with the Pro license as a way to say thank you for your support. So, yeah, it's a pleasure serving you. Take care.